Hello, everybody, and welcome to Noobs R Us GT3 Rookie Series Season 6. This is Race 4 at Barcelona. I am your host, Jeremy Cubbage, and I'm joined in the booth tonight with a couple of our AM drivers. Let's see who we got here. Last week's podium drivers, huh? Let's see. GT3 AM split race. 2? No? Am I in the wrong thing here? Oh, I see what's going on. We're at Misano. Out of that view. All right. Last week's race. Colin Westroff, I want to talk to you really quick. How are you doing this evening?
Doing quite all right. How are you?
Doing good. Good. Colin, it looks like you came in first last week in the AM split. Now, you may not knew that. I don't know. But that's
No, I very much knew that I came in first.
Okay. Because being in the AM split on a combined track can be nerve-wracking and you might not know what place you are. But knowing that you came in first, that's good. How are you feeling about this week?
This week, little less confident. You know, even last week, it was just to survive from the start and see where it goes. Because hour-long races, full track, like you said, you never really know what happens. This week, everybody, competition is tough out there. So we're gonna have to bring our A game for sure.
Okay, well, I'm wishing you luck. We're looking at your car in the pits right now, that pretty purpley, pinkish, bluish car. Looks a lot like ours, but zoomed in. I'm excited to see what you can do out on track.
Thank you very much.
All right, good luck. We're going to move on to Larry. Larry Foster, hello, how are you?
Good evening, how are you?
Good. So you came in second last week.
Yeah, I was looking at the roster after the race, and something changed, and I was like, what? And I thought I was in third, but
you were. We did have a driver move. I believe that was Douglas Furnish. I think he moved. So
okay, so the results changed. Okay,
yep,
cool.
Correct. So that moves you up. So you came in second, and that puts you tied for second place with Jake Willems.
Nice.
With that said, how are you feeling about tonight's race? Jake Willems is currently in first during the practice session. And where are you at, Mr. Foster? 15th.
Well, I have not had a lot of practice this week, but I have run many laps here. I qualify like garbage every time, but I'm the type of driver who has the stamina and the wherewithal to drive well and, be there at the end, basically. And that's kind of how everything went when we were at Paul Ricard too. I was running very fast down the back straight, and I caught most of my prey that I was looking for at the top speed end. So that's how I worked it out, and that's generally how I race too. Is I try to be 100% consistent as best I can. I do make my own mistakes at times, but basically I run everybody down as best I can.
Well, I'm hoping you're able to continue running everybody down. I know qualifying's about to start, so good luck with that. And I'm going to move on to the next driver. That should be Christopher Chan. Hello, Christopher.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. You are currently in, fifth place, I think, overall. 2 points behind fourth, and a total of 4 points behind third, which is also second place. So with that said, last week you came in third overall. And looking at you, Mr. Chan, out on track tonight, you have not put down a time yet. With that said, how's your practice sessions going? How do you feel about tonight?
Well, I don't feel so confident in this race, but I will try my best to do a podium in this race.
Okay, well, good luck. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Get out there, get qualifying, and we'll see you guys out on track.
Well, thanks.
All right. It's just me and you. Hello, everybody in chat. Jeremy Glazer, hello. We love you, Cubbage. Will Figgins, hello. Self-admiration, yep, you know me. I'm going to go ahead and get this over. We are currently connected to our server through ACC Race Connect. Now, for those of you who are veterans to ACC, you know that doing this is pretty simple. But we run a rookie series, which means 90% of the drivers here have never dealt with ACC Race Connector, so we had to do that, and we were setting that up. We still have some drivers trying to connect. Hopefully they're able to connect. With that said, qualifying has started. I'm going to bring up some extra information on screen for you guys. Let's get that up. This will be our qualifying times. It looks like we have somebody who's done a lap already. That doesn't make sense to me, but that could just be an invalidation with the application, so don't worry about that. That time could change very easily. Drivers out on track right now. It looks like car number or 14th place. Who is that? Dwyer? Nope. Who is that? I can't tell who that is. Got a lot of drivers out on track, so I'm going to try and go through and figure out which one. Brown? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so not Dwyer. Chanley? Not Chanley. Jones. Wes Jones. There it is. We got him. Well, Wes Jones is out on track. He's about to cross the line now and start his hot lap. He'll be the first of our AM drivers to start their hot lap. New season start. You can join midway through. That's absolutely fine. You can always start midway through. The new season will start probably 3 to 4 weeks after the end of this season. We'll put all that up nearing the end of this season. But yeah. You notice that every time you ask about new seasons and starting and joining, that Stream Elements says, hey, sign up. No. So we got some drivers out on track, starting their hot laps. Jones is out there, first to complete his hot lap. You're going to see a lot of slowdown now from some of these other drivers as they come around. Oh, we see them starting to come out of the chicane back there. Nice and slow as they go into the chicane. And, yeah. I think we're properly caught up. Okay, we're good. Nice. That's good news. Yeah. Tonight's going to be wild. And I'm saying that because we have some weird connection things going on. But we do have 25 drivers out on track. So 25 is looking pretty good. Glad we were able to get everybody connected and in tonight. Drivers to look out for. I would like to continue to watch Colin Westerhoff, Larry Foster, and Christopher Chan. However, as far as podiums go, in first is Roderick Rudd with 167 points. Larry Foster is in second with 164, tied with Jake Williams, 164 as well. So I'd like to see these drivers continue to battle out for those positions. Let's see how Jones is doing. He's about to cross the line now. I believe he's on a valid lap. We will see as he crosses the start-finish line. Invalid lap, so he's got to try again. R.L. Brown. Brown puts down a time. It's good news. 146.8. Glenn Jacobs right behind, 145.8. Roger Rudd overtaken with a 145.7. Like I said, Roger Rudd's going to be one to watch out for tonight. So we're definitely going to be seeing a little bit more close racing now that we've split off some of the faster drivers. You will notice on the right side of the screen, the driver lineup. That is a representation of how close they are on time. So you can see kind of the split based on car distance and that kind of thing. So Roger Rudd just barely ahead of Glenn Jacobs currently. And then there's that gap to Bennett there. You can see I can highlight over it. A lot of drivers starting to cross the line now. You can see them starting to move up on that list. There are only 10 drivers right now have crossed 11 now. Moving up. Looks like we just had somebody move into that second place position. That's Schmidt. I believe Schmidt is fairly new here. I don't remember seeing him last week, so we'll see if there's any sort of domination by him tonight. If there is, he may move up too. A lot of improving times right now as we're watching some drivers. Roger Rudd improving on his time through the first sector, up nearly half a second already. You can see his fastest sector is that middle sector highlighted on the track map there. Okay, he's coming through the final chicane through turn 14 now. Turn 15, he's up 0.8 on his time. That's going to move him into the 44s. That is fast, you guys. I wasn't doing 44s last night, and I did the mock race. So 44.9 from Roger Rudd. With that said, drivers that are improving still. Mackey is up 0.7 on their time as they're going into turn 13 and 14 now. Still 0.7 up. Slip in there. He's going to lose his time. He's going to make an improvement, but it's not what he wanted. It's only 2/10 up. Oh, he moves up only one position. Larry Foster in 16th. Last lap was a 49.4, but he's up almost 2 seconds on his time as he comes out of the second sector into the third. You can see there now that Roger Red has put a 1.5 car gap to second place. Larry Foster in 16th, up 2.2 seconds, coming through the back chicane now. 2.2 seconds around the final corner. You can use more of that track if you wanted to. From 16th up into 14th. Improvement by Larry Foster. Glenn Jacobs improving his time as he comes out of the second sector. Losing a little bit and then gaining it right back out of turn 10 there. Up the hill. Through turn 12. See if this moves him up as he goes through the chicane. Still up 3/10. 3/10 will be enough to move him into second, but not into first. Well, Glenn crossing the line now, 3/10 up. Good job, Glenn, in second place. Pete Dixon, last lap was his best lap was a 47.5. He's up 8/10 on his time. In through the chicane. Losing a little bit of time on the way out. Slipping. You can see that Porsche slipping through the corner. There's all of the exit. You guys can run all over that green there. Still up 5/10. That's going to move him up a position. Good improvement by him. Metcalf up almost a whole second, but he's invalid. We'll come back to him later. Corey Schreiber, one of our new drivers to our community. 1.4 seconds up on his time. Best lap for him was a 56. So this will move his time up, but won't move his position up. But he is only halfway through the lap right now with a driver behind him. Hopefully nothing comes of this. 2.5 seconds up. He's making great improvements. Car 53 going to the inside. He's not going to let it happen. He's still up nearly 2 seconds on his time, so I think he's okay and happy with that. He needs to continue to make improvements. He needs to improve by nearly 6 seconds. Ooh, car on the outside. That was Wes Jones passing there. Not going to be a major improvement for him. Look at Mike Cook. Oh, Mike Cook's invalid now. Metcalf in 13th place currently with a 46.732. He's up half a second through the first sector. About to go into the second sector. Gaining a little bit of time as he does that. Going through turn 7, up the hill. Change the cameras here and get a little bit different camera angles for this. He's gaining a lot of time down this back straight. Going into the hairpin now, up 7/10, gaining more time as he goes in. Up a whole second now on his previous time. A whole second improvement will move him up into the top 5. And he's got to try and hold that as he comes through turn 12. Using all of that track. Moving hard to the right, braking early. All of the track there, don't hit the sausage curbs. Good job overall there. 6/10 up on his time. And gaining a little bit down the back straight. 7/10. This is going to move him up into 6th place. Like I said, if he was up a second, it would have moved him up into the top 5, but he's just off of that, so he's got some more room to improve. Jeremy Knorr. Jeremy Knorr did a 46.575 as his best and is up 9/10 right now. As he's halfway through the track now. Coming down the back straight. No time gain here, so he's on par with where he was down this straight. Losing time into the braking zone, gaining it as he adds a little bit gas earlier. Oh, he lost even more time, actually. Disregard that. Only up 4/10 now. He was up almost a whole second. Trying to gain a little bit more on the way out of this corner. Last little straight before the chicane. Losing further time. Looks like his poor sector is sector 3. The rest of it he's great at. Missing the apex. Hit that apex. All the way to the outside. Needs to be tight on the inside. He's up a second now. He gained a lot of time in that last little bit. 1 whole second up. That's going to move him up in the close to top 5. 3rd place. There we go. Great lap by Jeremy Knorr. Larry Foster still trying to, like we heard earlier, he's not great at qualifying. So hopefully we'll see him do a good qualifier and start from where he belongs, because he's been qualifying mid-pack and then finishing top. So I want to see how he does. Going through turn 10, that hard hairpin. Up 1.1 seconds. A whole second improvement for him is unfortunately only going to move him up into the top 10. Not going to move him into the top 5. Let's see if he continues to improve here. Losing a little bit of time from turn 12 into turn 13. Gaining that time back through turn 13. Into the chicane. Nice and tight all the way through. No time lost. Actually gaining a little bit of time on the way through the final corner. 9/10 up. Moves from 16th into 10th. Great improvement there. Now, Nicholas Dwyer's trying to improve on his time. He's currently in 2nd place with a 155.275 was his best, not his last. So 275, he's up 4/10 on his time. 4/10 could move him up into 1st place. He's only through the 1st sector, so we'll see if he improves. We'll come back to him shortly. Metcalf right behind him, also trying to improve their time. Bobby Harold still improving on his time. So Bobby's kind of leading this train behind him. 1 whole second up on his time, so we'll see if he makes an improvement. Other drivers improving. Jake Willems in the middle of that pack as well. Up a whole second on their time. We got a lot of drivers still a second up. 6 minutes left, there's 7 minutes left in qualifying, and people still making 1 to 2 second improvements on their time. So people have a lot of room to improve. I want to see Bobby Harold. He goes through the, oh, he missed his turn in, so now he is invalid. Extremely unfortunate for him. Metcalf getting ready to go through the chicane now. Up 7/10 on their time. Using all the track on the exit. 6/10 up. That moves him into 3rd place. Great job by Metcalf up in that podium position. He's got to just try and hold that now, so nobody else takes it from him. Willems. Oh, I was just going to look. Willems was up on his time. Yep, there he goes. He moved up into 6th place. So I don't know why it's showing him in 1st on that screen. You guys can disregard that, because he's not actually in that position. So he did a 45.602. Hook is invalid. Wes Jones making a half-second improvement. Mackey making a whole 1 second improvement on the way out of the final penultimate corner. Now through the final corner. 9/10 up on his time. Moves up into 9th place. Great job by Mackey. Bobby Harold has still yet to make an improvement and make it stick. So 51.205, and he's got a lot of room to improve still. Looks like everybody else is starting to settle down with the times. Nobody's making major improvements anymore. Harold still has room to improve, but hasn't been able to. We got some drivers in the pits not qualifying. Looks like Drew's trying to go out there now. Unfortunately for Drew, I think he was trying to get people signed in, so this may be his only chance to qualify. Good luck, Drew. All right, Harold is up 1.5 seconds on his time and has a car next to him, which is not what you want to see during qualifying. Still needs to improve. A second isn't going to move him up a position. His best lap was a 51.205. His last was an invalid 50.695. See that driver driving off the track there. Hopefully they stay off. Let Harold improve his time. He loses a little bit of time through the final penultimate corner. Through the final corner now, up 0.5 seconds on his time. Once again, this improvement's great, but it's not going to move his position. 50.765. Raphael Brown. Up 0.5. Halfway through the track now. I want to just point out another driver that's up massively on their time is Mr. Bramer. He's coming around. Oh, he's invalid. That might be why. So an invalid improvement for him. Sucks. Westerhoff making a pretty good improvement. We'll come back to Westerhoff in just a moment. We'll get back to, who was it, 15th? Brown is now not making any further improvement. He lost all his time through those final corners. Westerhoff coming through turn 12 now. We just talked to Westerhoff for winning last week's race. See if he can do it again. He's only in 11th though, so he's got a lot of positions to make up. Up a half a second though, that's not too bad. Half a second should move him up at least into 5th or 6th place. Nope, he's up 4/10 now. 8th place. Willem's making an improvement on his time. You can see his position on the right side of the screen there. He's a whole car length ahead of Roger Red in second. Spinning around, so it doesn't matter. He's going to call it there probably. Schmidt, invalid fast time, doesn't matter. Harold, still trying to make an improvement. Coming through the final corner. Up another 1.5 seconds. On the way out. 1.6 seconds up. This is going to be a good move for him. He's actually going to move up position for this. 22nd. Oh, I disregard that. He didn't move up at all. He's right on the tail of Bramer as far as time goes. 49.142, and Bramer's got a 49 flat. He's got to try again. Drew Freiberger. Still trying to complete a lap. He's invalid, so unfortunately for him. Bennett improving by 7/10 currently as he's coming through the final sector. Last 2 minutes of qualifying. Bennett up 8/10. 8/10 is quite the improvement. That should move him up from 13th to 4th. Great job, Mr. Bennett. A lot of improving drivers. Imagine getting your fastest lap ever and then somebody else takes it. Say, for example, let's just say Mike Cook, for example. He did a massively fast lap, the fastest he could do, and it was the best improvement he's had, and then everybody else improves and just jumps over. I feel like that is just the way it's been. It's been piggybacking, everybody jumping each other, moving up. Trimble, out of the first sector into the second, up 4/10 on his time. Christopher Chan, halfway through the lap, up 4/10 on their time. Both valid right now. Trimble's now up 6/10. We'll have to see how Chan does as he goes into the hairpin. Gaining a little bit of time on the way in. Misses the apex because of it, so he's going to lose time on the way out. There he goes. He's down. He's only gained a little bit of time here. He's gained a little bit more. 2/10 now. Drew Freiberger's put down a valid lap and is in 18th, so we'll see if he moves up as well. Chan losing all his time in the third sector of the lap. He still has one more lap that he could do another improvement on if he wants to. Trimble going into the chicane now. Misses the first apex. Hits the second apex. Doesn't lose a whole lot of time. He's only half a second up on his time. That's going to be enough of an improvement to move him up a couple of positions. Into 12th place. Good job for Trimble overall. Mike Cook coming around the final corners, up 5/10 on his as well. That should move him up into 7th, maybe 8th. 8th place, there we go. Everybody trying to get their last couple laps, and a lot of drivers in the pit saying that's as good as it's going to get. Glenn Jacobs will not give up. He never does. Will continue to put down laps all day, every day. Schmidt, like I said, he's making good improvements in the first sector and a half. He's getting ready to make this turn on to turn 9. Losing time on the way in. Gaining the time on the way out. Up a half a second nearly. Here's where he's failing. See what happens if he's able to make his braking point. Hit that apex. There he goes, apex. All the way to the outside. Good job. There we go, apex to apex. Up 6/10 now. What an improvement by Schmidt. Going into turn 13 and then into the chicane. 5.5 seconds, or 0.5 seconds up. He's gaining a little bit of time through here. Hits both apexes really good. 6/10 up. Losing a little bit of time on the way out, but that's okay. A half a second improvement's a half a second improvement. This will move him up into 5th place. Good job. Mike Cook is the only other driver out on track with an improving time, 3/10 up, as he's coming through the 3rd sector now. P5 is still on track. Who is that? Schmidt. He's just finished. He should pull over, going to the pits. One other driver out on track, no improvement for them. So Mike Cook is our last driver to make an improving time, hopefully. Gaining some time on the way out. Not going to be enough to make an improvement. He might be able to sneak a position over Glenn Jacobs. See what happens. Cross line now. He got 2 positions. 7th place. I don't know. How did you qualify 4th? All right. I'm going to quickly run the ad break so we don't get interrupted, guys, and be back in about 2 minutes, and we'll go over the drivers. Thought you were bad at this track. All right. Those of you that are still with me, that are subbed, whatever it may be, I'm going to grab a... No, I'll do that halfway through. No, screw it. I'll get it now. I'm going to grab a beer. I will be right back. Those of you that are still with me, hello. Once again, 15 seconds left on this ad. Had to grab myself a drink, and then we'll go over our drivers. There's no good camera view for this. All right, welcome back. We've only got a couple more seconds left before the drivers start driving, so I'm going to quickly go down our list of drivers. The camera views will change because I don't have any other good way to do this. There was a driver shout out for David from Ono Noodles. All right, in first place we got Jake Woolham. Second, Roderick Rudd. Third place, Nicholas Dwyer. Fourth, Eric Bennett. Fifth, Kevin Schmidt. Sixth is Eric Metcalf. Seventh, Mike Cook. Eighth, Jeremy Knorr. 9th, Glenn Jacobs. 10th, Ryan Chanley. 11th, Colin Westerhoff. 12th, Alan Mackey. 13th, Tyler Trimble. 14th, Wes Jones. 15th, Christopher Chan. 16th, Larry Foster. 17th, Raphael Brown. 18th, Drew Freiberger. 19th, Mike Cortez. 20th, Phil Dixon. 21st, Ian Guzzoni. 22nd, Sean Bramer. 23rd, Bobby Harold. 24th, Luis Figueroa Sr. 25th, Corey Schreiber. Last but not least, Lizzie Aliseo, who needs to get going now. There they go. In that time frame, I've got 2 follows. Land Cloud, hello, thank you. Sexy Cannon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it, guys. Our drivers are going out now for their out lap. They're going to be single file warming up their tires as they go. I'm going to get the qualifying sheet off the screen. You don't need to see that. Drivers are going to warm up their tires. They've got 2 30-minute races ahead of them. The AM split, we've got 26 drivers on track. After we're done with this race, we will move on to the Pro Split race, and we will see how the Pro-Ams and the Pros are doing. They are running at the same time as this one, so the Pros are also out on track doing their out lap as well. Good luck, everybody. I'm just making up a name. I love that name. It's awesome. All right. We're going to see a lot of action from these AM drivers. This is the 4th race of the series. These drivers have learned a lot, and they've made some great improvements. We've moved some drivers out of the AM split, and they are now in the Pro-Am split or even the Pro split. So we try to make sure everybody's on even playing ground within our series. The winners of the AM split do get Track Titan subscriptions. First place gets 6 months, second place gets 3 months, and third place gets 1 month. We are sponsored by Track Titan. You can do ! sponsors in chat to find out more information about them. We have other sponsors as well. SimGrid, Coach Dave, and I believe that's our sponsors. We're partnered with Circuit Core. They run our servers. As you can tell, our servers are up and running, even though tonight's servers are not. It's ACC servers. Jake Williams' delivery is great, and I've talked to him about it. Drivers are starting to go side by side in the Noah's Ark formation as they come through the 3rd sector of the track. You're going to see these drivers side by side. I'm going to get the music off, even though it's kind of epic. Make sure you're in the right positioning here, everybody. You can see some drivers getting kind of screwy there. Watching in spectator mode. You know you can always just join me in the booth, right? I know you don't want to, but you can. Well, it looks like we're missing somebody. Somebody's out of position. Somebody up ahead is going to get a DQ, I think. Willems, commanding lead there. Down the front straight. You can see a little bit of wideness. People really tight into that right side. It's a dangerous place to be. See them all starting to move to that outside line and back in. Gonna move to the middle here. 4 wide, 5 wide into the first turn. Nobody really bonking. There's one car off there. That is not nearly as bad as it could have been. Unfortunately, one of the drivers is off completely and in the back. I think that's Drew Freiberger. Nope, it's not. It's Eric Metcalf. Freiberger came out of the pits. It looks like Lizzie is in the pits now too. So unfortunately there. Get back up, see what's going on up front. Looks like we got some side-by-side action from Schmidt and Bennett. Schmidt throwing it into the corner there, overtaking Bennett through turn 5. Poor Eric, he's been getting boned all week on this track. It looks like Schmidt was able to get that overtake done. Moving down the line, we got Westroff trying to put his nose in somewhere on Mike Cook here, see if he can try and get an overtake done. Getting ready to go down the back straight. Westroff now has to be defensive against Chanley right behind down the straight. Cortez goes around. Mike Cortez is in the back, isn't he? Something happened with him. It looks like car number 67 actually ended up getting up alongside, so Chandler's able to get an overtake done. A lot of cars, lots of spinning. Oh my goodness, hold your brakes. That was wild. Okay, continuing on there. He's got to try and rejoin without hitting anybody. And he does, luckily. Up at the front, Nicholas Dwyer and Jake Willems running away, but Dwyer is right behind Willems. He's going to give him a run for his money tonight, I think. You can see way in the back is Schmidt, and then behind them is the rest of the line. Mike Cook, Glenn Jacobs, and Chanley. Chanley, a little bit of glitch in there. Hopefully it doesn't screw him up too bad. Trimble trying to get an overtake done on the way into turn 1. Doesn't complete it, ends up slipping himself out and has got to try and recover and not get overtaken by the cars behind. You can see the cars behind. Larry Foster alongside of Bennett there. Through turn 2 and 3 now. Gets the overtake done on the way in. A lot of side-by-side action going on right now. Bobby Harold. Both of these GT Racing Academy drivers, Drew Freiberger just ahead of him. Drew Freiberger getting an overtake done on, who is that, Bramer. Moving up into 19th place. Good job, True. Got some other things going on. What happened here? Let's back this up 15 seconds and watch what happened leading up to this. Moving in. Oh no! A car missed their braking point and hit him and spun him out. You go to the outside, not the inside of the corner. That was extremely unfortunate. Looks like he's got back on track and is continuing on, but Mr. Rudd's got a lot of ground to catch up. Then Jacobs side by side with Chanley through turn 10. Looks like he's able to get the overtake done and continue on, or Chanley was not able to complete the overtake at that point. A lot of action going on right now, everybody. Trimble on the tail of Mackey through turn 13. These driver's about to go into the chicane. Trimble just doing everything he can to try and get a better run on the exit. Doesn't look like it's going to help very much. Glenn Jacobs up the hill in that Ferrari behind that BMW, trying to get as much draft as he can. Doesn't look like he's got a chance for an overtake there, unfortunately. I want to point out now that Willems has fallen off. Looks like Dwyer has ran away. You can see Dwyer 1.6 seconds ahead, Willems, and then Schmidt behind them, then Mike Cook. Let Kanya into the stream. Are you not racing, Nick? Why you no racing, Nick? You're muted, by the way.
There was a Nick murder into turn 1.
Okay, well, unfortunately we're not going to be able to see that, but we're watching the AM split now.
Oh, commentator's curse.
Yep. Foster off track. Trying to regain his positioning now. Wes Jones right behind trying to gain on Trimble ahead. Looks like he may have the run on the way up the hill. Losing a little bit of time, but not a lot. Just trying to outbrake him in through turn 9. A lot of cars still in a train down that back straight. Jones not going to look to the inside. We're in a position now where if you're going to overtake, it gets a little bit more dangerous. Jones is starting to fall off a little bit here. Mackey on the outside there. Looks like somebody slipped out, so he's just going to get a freebie. Run away with it. You can see Mackey now has to defend a Foster behind. I'm going to move back to Mike Cortez, who had the lap 1 incident and was off. He's going to try and catch up to Luis Figueroa Sr. Mike, fairly competent driver, has had a lot going on in his life that kept him from continuing to practice, so he's down in the back right now, but he'll catch up eventually. Brown.
Love that NSX.
Brown right behind Harold on the front straight. Mike Cortez right behind Luis. Mike's going to go to the inside. And try and outbrake into turn 1. Drivers go side by side into turn 1. Mike has completed the overtake on the way in and doesn't need to fight for it halfway through the corner. Looks like there's a car off track there. Looks like that was Brown ahead. Nope, it was Harold. And now he's got to worry about trying to catch back up. With that said, catching back up, Dwyer has allowed Willems to catch up. So the fight for first place is still on. Willems has got a little bit of ground to make up, but not a lot. So we'll see what happens in the coming laps for him. Chanley behind Mike Cook down the back straight. Trying to stay in the draft. Unfortunately, not enough to get an overtake done or even tuck in for one. Drew Freiberger got the better turn on the way in for Guzoni, it's hard to say. Gonna try and outbrake. He moves to the inside. Attempts to outbrake, but it was more of a defensive move now because he's got that Aston right behind him. Looks like he was able to get the overtake done on the next straight. What an overtake by Drew. He pretty much got a freebie from that. Great job.
Be safe.
See, even if you're not being offensive, sometimes being defensive can help you out. So, good job. Okay, you can join me in the booth. That is completely okay. Because hopefully Kanye is able to race next time. Larry Foster is going to tuck to the inside down the front straight alongside Mackey into turn 1. Out brakes, tucks in really tight, misses the apex and ends up, he doesn't miss the apex, he just scared himself and backed out, basically. But he's still stuck behind Mackey on the way through it and not able to complete that overtake. Still right on his tail, though. He might tuck his nose back into the next corner. He's not going to. He's just going to try and stay right there. And hopefully Mackey will go wide. He does. Foster now side by side. Clears the overtake on the way through. Great job by Larry. A little bit more ground to gain, but he'll get up there. Larry's gained 6 positions from where he started. Just like he said, his qualifying's not great, but he ends up doing good during the races. Willems. No time gained really for him this last lap either. He's still 0.7 seconds in trail of Dwyer. The race for first is still on. We'll have to see if he's able to gain any extra time. Looks like he's gaining a little bit, 0.4 seconds now. Losing a little bit of time as he hit that sausage curve going into the chicane. Got to be a little bit tighter onto the apexes to get him. A little bit better exit, but not enough for him to do much. Both these cars in the Ferrari 296, so they're going to be very similar down the straights. He's gained a little bit of ground on him, but not enough to do an overtake. Let's move back again. Tyler Trimble right behind Mike Cook. See him go really wide, use all of that track. Right on his tail down the back straight. Mike Cook should go defensive. He's not going to. He's going to allow Trimble just to go on the inside. Trimble going to the inside, just like we said. He's going to try and outbrake now into turn 1. Doesn't outbrake. Ends up braking too hard, too fast. Wes Jones getting into it down the back straight as well. Or the front straight, rather. I feel like Wes has been in a gaggle the entire race. Mike Cook, once again, and Trimble side by side. Coming through turn 3 and 4 now. Turn 3 into turn 4. He's going to stay defensive on the way into turn 4. Trimble hoping that he doesn't go wide because now he's on the outside, but he's got to watch out for Larry Foster right behind. You can see Larry wants to tuck his nose in now too. Trimble going to be defensive and offensive at the same time. In that middle car, it looks like he's going wide on the exit. Larry's not going to follow. No reason for an overtake into this corner. Larry right on their tail though, just hoping that something happens because this is a very, very good part of the track for one of the cars to get out of place. Larry's now tucking in. Into turn 9, on the inside, he's riding that apex line that's going to slow him down. Not enough for it to matter. Trimble's now on the inside, on the defensive line, into turn 10. Is able to hold that position from Larry, but is it going to be enough to switch back his come? Larry's still there. Easy left-hander to a hard right-hander. Trimble's holding that. Mike Cook is just thankful that these two are battling now because Mike can run away. Trimble's just trying to run away too because he wants to catch back up to Mr. Cook. But you see how they've been battling this whole time. The cars behind him now caught up. There's Larry Foster, Metcalf now, and even Wes Jones back there too, starting to catch up. Once again, down the front straight, Mike Cook. Not going to be defensive again. Should definitely be defensive. Trimble going to the inside. Thinks better of it. And stay to the outside. He wasn't able to complete the overtake there. I didn't mean to move that far up. I meant to move back to Wes Jones, who's now slipping and sliding. Going back up again. But Trimble got himself screwed up into turn 2. Larry Foster got around. Metcalf is now going to be on the inside. Metcalf is going to try and get this overtake done. Looks like prior to the turn-in, overtake has been completed. Trimble, all of that battling for 2 cars ahead of him, and he's now 2 cars back. Got to find the place to do a proper overtake, and you'll get it done without any incident. You battle on every corner, you'll end up losing a position. Moving up to the front, Jake Willems, 7/10 off his lead driver, still just trying to tuck into the draft behind him every straight that he can. Foster is now leading this group. Rather, Mike Cook is leading this group. Foster's trying to run away from it. Further back, we got Roderick Rudd trying to catch up to Drew Freiberger ahead. And he's got Jeremy Knorr right behind him. Jeremy might tuck in for the overtake. He's not going to. All 3 drivers going to go into the hairpin in train. Being safe. Moving further back, we got Westerhoff trying to get an overtake done on Figueroa. Both these drivers coming down the back straight now. Westerhoff right on the tail of Figueroa. Figueroa is not going to be defensive. Westerhoff's going to tuck his nose in and come right back out. Jake Wells, hello. Good to see you. Misses his turn in, but he doesn't lose a lot of time. He's got a lot of time to gain, though. Catch back up. All the other drivers are now outside of their positioning other than... I mean, we got a lot of drivers behind that are greater than a second off. We've got Jeremy Norr still trying to get an overtake done into turn 1. Been busy moving. Busy boy moving. Where you moved to? Arkansas? Look at this gaggle of cars right here. Oh, my goodness. Drew Freiberger in the middle of it. Losing 2 positions because of it. 3 positions now. Drew just dropped down three positions. Now Drew's got to do everything he can to catch right back up. Jeremy Norr looks like he accidentally hit. Who was that? Roger Rudd.
Oh,
That's
no.
2 bonks from into Roger Rudd this race. He's probably fairly frustrated at this point. All those cars have now split up. Moved to Florida. Daytona 24. That'd be fun. I think we're going to try and go to Texas. We're going to go to Coda. I think people have already bought tickets. Figueroa, looks like he lost a position. Dixon and Freiberger still going at it as they go into turn 9. And then down the back straight. Dixon's got a better exit. Going to tuck his nose in, maybe. There he goes, tucking the nose in. Dixon to the inside, doesn't outbrake him, loses that time. Looks like these drivers are doing everything they can, but they're being overly cautious with their braking zones. Speaking of being overly cautious, Willems has finally got on the tail of Dwyer. Dwyer has gone extremely defensive. Willems on the outside of turn 1, side by side into turn 2. Dwyer's going to hold on to that first place position for now. Like I said, the battle is still going for first. Moving back. Looks like Mike Cook has more or less given up a position or 2. I don't know what's going on with him. It must be damage or something. Willems. Coming into the second sector now, right on the tail of Dwyer, fighting for that first place position. Need more McLarens. Need more Nissans. Well, we'd have more Nissans if you were racing, Will. Willems up the hill, no time gains, still in the same position a little bit here and there, but not a lot. Getting a little bit of ground into the entry of the corners, losing on the exit. Once again, similar cars, so as far as pace down the straights go, they're going to be nearly identical, so got to try and get a better exit, better braking. There he goes, closing the gap a little bit as they go through turn 12. Loses it again on the exit. It seems like he's... There he goes, got a little bit of turn in. It seems like he's better at braking, but not better on the gas, so I have to see what happens in the coming laps. Once again, still no major time gain. We'll watch him go down this back straight and see what happens. All right, good luck, Jake. Have fun. Doesn't look like there's going to be enough of a gap closure for him to move to the inside into turn 1. Only 2/10 back. He might just peek to the inside to trick him. He's not going to. All right, we'll let them go another lap and come back to him. Willems in second currently. Larry Foster trying to get an overtake done on Pete Dixon through the third sector now. Dixon hitting that sausage curve a little bit, getting a little bit slippy. Luckily, no real time loss because you're going right into a chicane after that. Foster now has Brown to contend with behind. Gaining a little bit of time down that straight. Dixon in that slower straight line vehicle of the Porsche. It's going to go kind of defensive enough to keep Foster on the outside line. There's so much more action in the AM split than you'd expect. We're just past the halfway mark and people are still racing hard for position. Larry now hard on the inside here. Dixon more or less giving him the position there to get alongside. They're side by side on the way in. There's a lot of space given. Foster able to complete the overtake more or less. Dixon in the back, off track, spinning a little bit. Luckily doesn't lose that position to Brown. Whew. Brown now trying to tuck on the inside in the next corner. Completes the overtake more or less. Dixon now down 2 positions from the start of the lap. With that said, Brown now has 1.5 seconds to try and catch up to Foster ahead. So Foster able to run away. Let's go back to Willems now. Once again, getting ready to go down the front straight. Getting all that he can Both these drivers fighting tooth and nail, nearly identical on their times. I say that, but Willems' best lap was a 44.880, whereas Dwyer's is a 45.365. So Willems has the pace. He just hasn't been able to actually get around him.
Jeremy, we need to bring back the livery contest.
We never had a livery contest. Oh yeah, we did, just one
We did.
time. I'm down for a livery contest. Or we could just...
Because Williams would win that very quickly.
Well, we
Thing's
could,
beautiful.
at the end of the series, we could do a post-season thing and do like a livery contest, that kind of thing. Oh, Willems spinning out! He's got to try and recover, get back on track before Schmidt catches up. Because now he doesn't want to lose that second place position to Schmidt. We need another track day event. I'm down for a track day event. That was fun. Schmidt able to complete the overtake through turn 7, up the hill now. Willems is trying to get side by side again into turn 9. Is able to complete the overtake through turn 9. Willems holding on to that position. Now, like I said, Willems has done nearly a half a second faster a lap than Dwyer. So if he doesn't battle with Schmidt too much, what it looks like he's going to, he could theoretically put down some fast laps, catch right back up to Dwyer. But now he's in third and trying to hold off. Let's move to the back. Drew Freiberger is catching up to Trimble ahead. Jeremy Noor behind. These three drivers trying to close the gap between each other. Trimble has done a great job, up 3 positions from where he started. Drew up 7. So these drivers doing a good job moving up in position from where they qualified. Not enough time for any of them to attempt an overtake here. We just got to wait for a mistake. I want to move back up to the front where Schmidt has now moved back into third. Willems going defensive, moving to the outside line. Schmidt's going to tuck it in. Almost hit him right on his tail into turn 1 apex. Turn 2. Willems running away. Schmidt losing a little bit of time now. Willems now has 4.5 seconds to try and catch back up to Dwyer ahead because of all of that slipping and sliding and battling with Schmidt. He's really got to tuck his head down. He's got 10 minutes left to do it. It's absolutely doable, but he's got to really work at it. You can already see he's already a second off of Schmidt. So he's definitely got the pace to get away. Roderick Rudd trying to catch up to Sean Bramer ahead. Roderick's fastest lap was a 45.6, whereas Sean's was a nearly 48. So you know that he's going to be able to catch up just fine. Rudd down 16 positions from where he qualified. So having qualified in second place, third place in that area, he's got a lot of time or ground to make up. But because of unfortunate events, he's been bonked too many times and is now all over the place. Moving back up the pack again, Drew Freiberger trying to get this overtake done on Trimble, slipping and sliding up the hill through turn 7 and 8. Tucked in really narrow. That Mustang's got a lot of power and will outrun this Ferrari down the straight. However, Trimble's on that defensive line into the hairpin. Drew's going to just try and tuck it in, hit the apex, and get a better run. Looks like he does. Trimble's off track. He's going to hit the next apex in the lead and takes the next apex, therefore giving him the position. Jeremy Noor is right on the tail of Trimble now. Good job by Drew. Looks like Jeremy Noor is going to try and get this overtake done again on Trimble here shortly. Got a couple other drivers. Tried to close the gap to each other. Noor tucking back in to the inside. Turn 1. They are side by side fully on the way in. He outbrakes himself again and ends up losing the apex because of it, but he's earlier on the gas. That's going to give him the apex of turn 3, and he's got it. Completed the overtake into turn 3. Jeremy Noor is now in 11th place. Metcalf trying to close the gap to Christopher Chan ahead. Garrick Bennett fighting Phil Dixon ahead. Some of these gaps are starting to close back up after splitting up. And we're going to watch a little bit more racing as we go. Garrick, 2/10 off of Phil Dixon as they go through turn 4 down one of the back straights. There's multiple little straights here. All right, Garrett has lost his time and positioning, so he is kind of fallen off. Let's move back up to Metcalf as he's looking to the inside of Christopher Chan into the hairpin, turn 10. Trying to gain as much time as he can as well and get up into that 6th place position. Eric Metcalf is down 1 position from where he qualified, so you know he deserves to be in 6th place. All the drivers ahead of him have gained multiple positions, so Metcalf definitely has the pace as far as qualifying goes to all the drivers ahead of him. So we'll see if he's able to catch back up. Eric Metcalf gain a little bit extra time down the straight. You can see Chan being very, very, very defensive. Metcalf's going to move all the way to the outside. There we go. Moves to the outside. That gives him a much better turn in here. Looks like he might be able to complete the overtake in through turn 2. Yep, he's going to have the apex for turn 2. They're still side by side. Turn 3, however, looks like Christopher Chan's able to hold that position. A lot more battling yet to be had from these two. Only 6 seconds left in the first race. Side by side once again. Chan's going to hold that position. Chan's going to be on the inside. Really, really narrow. That is a dangerous place to be. I wonder if Chan's wondering why Metcalf's able to get alongside on the outside. He just needs to move a little bit more to the outside of each turn in order to hold that position. However, Metcalf able to get the overtake done up the hill towards turn 9. They got Mackey right behind them now. All of that battling has allowed Mackey to catch up to them. Metcalf now just going to try and run away with Christopher Chan behind. Mackey may look to the inside this next corner, try and get an overtake done on Chan. Not going to happen. All 3 drivers going to run in a train formation as they go down through the hairpin. Into turn 11 now. Turn 12. Metcalf just trying to run away. Chan's got to be fairly defensive here with Mackey right behind. And hopefully not get rear-ended. You can see him lifting his brakes a little bit so he doesn't. And we got a driver spinning out in the middle of the track back there. Who is that? Oh my goodness gracious. P24. Lizzie? That's Lizzie spinning around. Oh my goodness, Lizzie. Hopefully she figures that out and gets right back up there. Metcalf has now opened up that gap, and Chan has opened up the gap to Mackey because of that. So they've got a lot more battling to do to catch back up. Foster right behind Brown down the back straight, gaining some time as well. That Lexus extremely fast down nearly every straight. Brown not going to be defensive. Foster going to go to the offensive line on the inside, move back to the outside. Brown also has Trimble ahead still. I'm going to move up. Mackey and Chan trying to get an overtake done as they go through turn 4. There's a lot of different battles, and unfortunately I can't catch all of them at once. Back to Foster again. Foster on the outside here. Brown being defensive. This battle between Brown and Foster is nowhere near over. Foster moving to the outside line. Brown's going to stay defensive. Nearly every corner that they end up battling, Trimble will end up running away. Foster tucking to the inside, moving back to the outside. He's going to try and force Brown to stay narrow through this corner. It's going to work. Unfortunately, it's not going to work in the advantage for Foster. So moving up the line. Freiberger on the tail of Wes Jones. Going to try and outbrake him into the next corner. He is not. Just going to try and tuck him behind him. Foster still. Foster's kind of fallen off from Brown, or rather Brown has fallen off from Trimble. So Trimble's looking at this like it's a good thing. But Trimble has 8 seconds to catch up to Drew Freiberger ahead. He just doesn't want to be in a battle and hold on to that position at this point. These 3 drivers all so closely on pace. See what happens now. Foster and that Lexus down the straight. Brown ahead, just trying to stay off the racing line to try and force. If Foster's able to catch up, Brown is trying to force Foster to stay in the middle of the track. It's not going to happen. They all move to the outside, turn in for the apex. Foster gets a better exit through turn 1. I'm going to move back a little bit. We got Roger Rudd getting overtake done. Or rather, trying to hold off the position to Bennett behind. Roger, most unfortunate race for him. Garrick also behind him. Both these drivers down 13 and 12 positions, respectively. So they're actually battling each other, which isn't a great thing to do if you're trying to gain those positions back. Drew Freiberger still trying to catch up to Wes Jones. Mackey still trying to catch up to Christopher Chan. It looks like we're going to have one. This is the penultimate lap. We'll have one more lap after this one. The top 6 drivers, top 7 drivers are all outside of any sort of battle. Well, I say that. Top 6 are outside of a battle. Chan is actually trying to hold off Mackey for that 7th place position. So, more or less, as long as none of the drivers in P1 through 6 make a mistake, they're going to hold those positions. You can see Larry Foster trying to tuck in as close as he can possibly get to Brown through the chicane and get a better run on the exit. Get as much draft as he can. Closing up that gap down the back straight or the front straight. Brown being defensive again. Brown has been very good on the defensive line. Braking nice and early, hitting the apex. Going to the next apex. He's going to hold that. However, it looks like, there we go. Foster's got the overtake done on Brown. Finally, it only took like 3 or 4 laps. Great job, Mr. Foster. Still battle yet to be had between those two, so we'll see what happens. Oh my goodness, we caught that at the right moment. Roger Rudd ends up spinning Bennett. Bennett now off track, way in the back. Rudd now just trying to catch back up. Bennett trying to rejoin the track, losing lots of positions because of it. Brown is still trying to catch back up to Foster. Almost a whole second behind at this point. Foster trying to close that gap to Trimble. We are not doing another lap like I thought we were going to. Dwyer comes in first, crossing the line. Willems second. Schmidt just crossed in third. Glenn Jacobs 12 seconds back. Coming through the final corner now is fourth. Ryan Chanley going to cross in fifth. Metcalf 6th, Christopher Chan in 7th, Wes Jones in 8th, Drew Freiberger in 9th, Alan Mackey in 10th. That will round out your top 10 drivers. Trimble and Foster still going at it as they are about to cross the line now, and 11th and 12th respectively. Brown 13th. Dixon has Roger Rudd right behind him as they're coming through the final corner now. Luckily, that start-finish line is right there, so he holds on to that 14th place. Bramer and Westerhoff, these two actually racing to the finish line, nearly side by side on the way in. There's the finish line. Bramer holds off Westerhoff for 16th position. Great job. All right, Nico Canio, you should go do your race.
Yes, I will see you guys. Hopefully, we give you guys a good race.
All right, good luck. With that said,
you.
I've been joined by
and
Will.
Kevin says hi.
Oh, hi, Kevin. Okay, I've been joined in the booth by Will Figgins, who is muted. Hopefully he unmutes, and we'll move on to the pro race.
I am indeed here, and I am ready to do a little bit of commentating today.
Good, because I need to drink my beer. So while that is going on, I am going to switch this over so that we see some things in some places. And because I've got to switch servers, I just want to make sure I get all the drivers across the line before I quit, because I want to make sure I get the full replay here. All right. Quitting this, and we're going to go to the pro split. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining us. If you guys are interested in ACC or Noobs or Us in general, you can do !SimGrid to join our races. Looks like Patrick Aguirre, thank you for following us on SimGrid. I'm assuming you heard of us through, you were one of the first people up here, weren't you? Let's see. Trampy Pegasus. Oh, let's get into the next server. We got to do this the wrong way, but we're doing it. Getting into the server now. Loading in now. We're going to do our driver rundown. Will, would you like to do that while I drive the camera down the lane?
Sure, why not?
Okay, let me get my camera set up so I can drive it. At some point,
Gonna
some
be-
way, somehow.
Bit delayed maybe because of the stream.
No, I can't move anything.
Oh,
There we go. Okay. Now that that's back. Don't look at the stream. Just start reading them and I'll run the camera down. So you do you.
all right. In first place, in the Ford Mustang number 15, we have Zach Schneider, very quick driver. In second, we have Kevin Rivera, another very quick driver. Both of those I'll be looking to see good battle for the lead. In third, we have Kosoboon, another strong driver there in the Mustang. In fourth place, we currently have Gerber in the McLaren, following by another McLaren by Turai in fifth position. We have the person that crashes into me every single race, Menendez here, in the Lamborghini number 756. In seventh, we have Kanya, who was just in the booth here with us. Following him, in eighth position, we have Haral. I don't know the first names of any of these, so I apologize. In the Porsche there, we have a Nissan driver on grid, Ramirez, who I will be rooting for all race. I hope he wins. In 10th position, we have Matt Russo in the Porsche, numbered 341. Behind him, Furnish in the Aston Martin. Of course, running the 420 number on there. In 12th, we have Allenson and another McLaren on the grid. Then we have Mr. Tony Danzig in the Lexus, of all things. I don't think I've seen him drive the Lexus. Hopefully he's branching out, experiencing new cars and all that. In 14th, we have Casey Swanseger in the Porsche, number 84. Following him is Devin Anthony in the Honda. In 16th, we have David Alicea in the Ferrari, number 88. And then is that a name? That's... We have number 13 in the BMW.
It's Hugo the 13th.
Gotcha. Hugo the 13th in the BMW, rounding off the grid.
That is our 17 drivers in the Pro Split. I'm going to run an ad now while these drivers are out doing their outlap, and then we'll get back to the race. With that said, how's everybody else doing? Those of you that have Prime who have subbed, good to have you here. I'm drinking my beer.
So we know there was a little bit of chaos in the first race because Kanye got taken out and joined you in the booth.
Yep.
Are we thinking the same thing's going to happen? These are our pro drivers. They do like to compete.
Menendez is right next to him, and you said Menendez crashes into you every race, so it may have been Menendez that crashed into him last race.
That is entirely possible.
So who knows what's going to happen? We've got another minute and 20 seconds left on the ad, and then we'll get right into it. Hopefully the ad is over before they cross the start-finish line. It's only 2 minutes long, so it should be.
Let's hope so.
A lot of talking during the first race, so I've got to take a break whenever we run the ad and actually just sit and relax.
You're good. I feel like it's been a while since I've been on the stream.
Well, you've been watching the stream, so there's that. You've been here for everything.
Well, I meant commentating or something to that extent.
Well, it is what it is.
Been busy.
Yeah. Yeah, the drivers will be still doing their outlap, heating up their tires by the time we get started back up. All right. All right, that was good timing for the ad to be completed. The drivers are going into Noah's Ark formation as we speak. Zach Schneider, Kevin Rivera, and James Kosoboon are top 3 drivers. I would like to see James clutch a first place win here tonight. He's going to be starting out right behind Schneider. And if something happens with these two in front, I think James could absolutely hold that first place win. He's done a really good job over the last couple seasons. I don't want to say smartening up, but he's definitely become a little bit less crashy. So as long as he's not around Kevin, though, I guess Kevin and James like to crash a lot too. So green light.
They do.
Second race. This is the pro split for our rookie series. We're already seeing some 3 wides down the straight. Some position changes there. Lead drivers. 3 wide, almost a 4 wide situation going on in the middle of the pack. First place is through. Second, third, fourth. No bonks. We got a spin there. Who was that? That was Kasaboon. Why when I said I don't want to see a bonk, I think I commentator cursed him. That is unfortunate.
You must have done.
Oh, no.
Unlucky for him there.
Yep, Gerber going to tuck on the inside of Kevin Rivera through turn 4. Not going to be able to complete the overtake.
There was a little incident further back between Danzig and Devin Anthony. I believe they spun, lost some time there.
Oh, did they? Tony Danzig and Devin Anthony. Well, they're far enough back, and I don't want to back up the thing. So Kevin Rivera is now down in third. Gerber has finally cleared the positioning there. That's just going to... You see Zach Schneider already running away because second, third, fourth, everybody here's battling. Zach Schneider's just gone.
2-second gap already.
Yep. 2 seconds is wild.
Well, we won't be seeing him for the rest of the race.
Oh my
There's
goodness,
an
Douglas
Aston
Furnish
Martin
off.
in the back.
Oh my goodness, somebody else that was off too just a moment ago. Was that Russo? That was Russo.
That was.
Nick Kanya, no death yet for him in 6th place. The drivers are coming through turn 12 on their first lap.
Another incident further back involving Devin Anthony there. And he's spun
He's
again.
spun. I'm going to go ahead and
my
back that one up. We
goodness.
can watch what happened here. Oh, it looks like Tony slipped out into the hairpin, and unfortunately, Devin Anthony would just turn the corner into him.
Oh no.
These drivers, stop drinking and driving, guys. Drink and watch the stream. That's what I do. I'd like to point out that I bought Uncrustables and it did not give me Zach's superpowers. You were disappointed. No, see, what you got to do is you got to eat the Uncrustable while you're driving, and you'll get them. Kanya trying to get in behind Turai. I always call him Turaj. Turai. No real position or time gain there. Ooh, we got David losing a position to Furnish. Furnish trying to gain those positions back. James Kasaboon is now be trying to catch up. You can see him just coming around the corner there. We turn 4 behind these guys. So he's going to try and catch back up, work his way back up. Nico Menendez right on the tail of Kevin Rivera. These two drivers have a silent feud they won't tell you about. Nico going to the inside, or rather the outside. Kevin's going to be defensive into the hairpin. Not able to stay on the tail of Kevin Rivera. Through there, hits the sausage, slipping him a little bit. That's going to allow Turai and Kanya behind to try and catch up a little bit. Kevin doesn't want to battle anybody behind him. He just wants to catch up to Gerber and secure that second place position. I say that, but Kevin's now outside of slipstream range and hits the sausage curb, losing further time. Now he's got to really worry. That was Nico I was watching, not Kevin. Nico has Turai right behind him. Turai, is he going to tuck his nose in? He's going to peek. There he goes. You can see him. Peeking to the inside. Turai tucking in for turn 1, side by side, going into turn 2. Nico's going to hold that position. However, Turai now has to worry about Kanya behind. That gap between these 3 drivers has closed significantly just because of that one turn. Kevin Rivera has pulled away from Nico. This is what he wanted to happen. Now he'll be able to start to try and attack Austin Gerber ahead of him. See some lights flashing there from Kanya behind. Kanya right on the tail. And Turai, he's going to tuck to the inside. Kanya saying, hey, I'm the pro driver. You're a pro-am. Get out of my way. Turai saying, no, right behind you is another pro-am driver. You stay there. Trying to make sure that there's a significant wall between him and Ramirez. See some stuff going off in the back. What was that? Like somebody just hit one of those foam things at the end there. Anya. Trying to close that gap further. Turai. Trying to hold this first place position for the Pro-Am split. It's a little bit of sand on the way out of that turn. Luckily, this isn't a long straight, so it doesn't lose a lot of time. Turai's now going to be outside of the slipstream from Nico Menendez. Is it going to be enough? Kanye is going to try and gain a little bit extra time down the straight. Looks like we got a driver tucking into the pits. That's Ramirez. Must have enough damage that he needs to jump in, or he has a drive-through, one of the two.
It's definitely an interesting decision. He looked like he was keeping up just fine with the drivers in front.
I think he got a drive-through.
Oh, it seems Gerber made a mistake and has let Kevin Rivera through in for second place there.
Let's watch what happened here as he's coming down the front straight. Through turn 1 into turn 2. He cut turn 2 and lost time because of it. That's how Kevin was able to get around. So Gerber's now going to fight his way back up. Kevin 6 seconds off of first place. Zach Schneider is going to just play Hot Lap Simulator at this point. I had said that looks like Hugo is in the pits along with Ramirez. Nope, Ramirez is out. Who else is in the pits?
This is out.
Devin Anthony. Devin Anthony in the pits and Hugo. Hugo has left, so he forfeit, I believe.
Looks to be, unfortunately. It is crazy to see that Zach Schneider has built such a gap in such a short amount of time. His fastest lap is almost a full second quicker than Kevin Rivera's fastest lap. It's about 0.8 quicker between their two bests.
To answer a question in chat, what is the difference between Wreck-It Race Team and the Noobs R Us team? Wreck-It Race Team is a small community of drivers. They are solely a team of drivers that get together. They game with each other. Oh my goodness gracious, we had a crash in the chicane. Another bonk from Casey Swanseeger. That was crazy. They drive in the Noobs R Us series. That's what Wreck-It Race Team does. They don't have any requirements that I know of to be on their team, nothing of that sort. The Noobs R Us race team is run by myself and Andrew Casey. Drivers with us, we have a works team, and then we have GT Racing Academy that drivers can partake in order to better themselves to be on the works team. And then we have an esports team as well. So Zach Schneider is the team's the esports team principal. You can see why in 7-second gap from Kevin Rivera ahead. So we do have an esports team as well. Nico Menendez is on that in the prospects for that team as well. So that is in the works. And then Noobs R Us as a whole is a community to host these kinds of races. Right now we are watching the pro split. There is Wreck-It Race Team drivers in the pro split. There's a lot of Noobs R Us drivers in the pro split. The AM split, they are doing their own thing in their own server right now. And that's it. Are the servers down? Yes. Yes, they are. You've got to join using ACC connector. So. Sorry for interrupting you, Will.
That is fine.
Turai trying to get that overtake done on Menendez ahead. Menendez has now 2.5 seconds to Gerber, and Gerber's trying not to lose that to Kevin Rivera ahead.
And that fighting between Gerber and Rivera is letting Menendez sort of catch up and close that gap very slowly, and hopefully bringing Turai and Kanye in for maybe a 5-way fight for second place potentially in the near future.
These drivers in 5th and 6th have to think about that, though. They have to consider, if I don't battle ahead, we can catch up to the next battle. But we know how drivers are, and we know how people get greedy for position. So you are going to see battling between these drivers. So we got an onboard cam request for Tony Danzig. Oh, we will watch Tony Danzig as he's following Furnish. We'll do an onboard with him. He's just crossed the start-finish line. Let's go on board with Tony as they go through turn 2 now. See Tony trying to stay really narrow there, getting a little bit understeer as he powers his way out. This freaking Lexus sounds so good. That's because I'm watching not a Lexus, I'm watching a Porsche. That was Matt Russo. Let's watch Tony Danzig from the pits. We'll continue watching Matt Russo since that's all we got. So not Tony Danzig, he's in the pits. Matt Russo trying to catch up to Furnish now. That's why it sounded good. I was wondering, why does it sound so good? It's because of freaking Porsche. Cutting that curb. Okay, you can use a lot more of the curb on the right-hand side there, too. You want to brake as late as you can here, but very lightly, enough to get the car to turn in. A little bit on the inside, all the way to the outside. You can use a lot more of that on the outside, too. Running down the back straight now. I'm going to brake just before the 100 board. Not just before that tight. My goodness gracious. Almost misses apex. Didn't lose a lot of time, though. Light tap on the brakes here again. This is not a long sweep, or you want to just try and get on the gas early. Use all of the exit. Not really, no real braking marker for that corner, so you just got to use caution through there. Same for that. You want to brake before that bridge there. On the way out of the final corner, and it looks like Furnish has got the better run on the way out, but he's going to go wide because of it. He might have had to lift, which might give Russo the run down the straight. We'll see what happens. Nope, that Aston's just running away. Good lap by Matt Russo. We were just talking about this a little bit ago. Kanya and Turai, they ended up battling a little bit too much along with Nico. Now they've kind of fallen off. And Kevin Rivera is now in second ahead of Gerber during that whole situation. So there's no battle for second or third place at this point. But there is still a battle for fifth. So we'll see if Nick Kanya can get around him.
He's basically just followed him through that corner. Very close. Trying to close that gap. The BMW is a very stable car, I feel like. Front-engined, of course.
I feel like both the McLaren and the BMW are very stable cars all around, so just in a different way. But if you guys are just starting out with ACC, the most recommended car is that M4, so jump in it, learn from it. It will punish you for not having good habits, so it'll teach you the good habits to have.
Looks like Casey Swanseger further back just went off track. Let Devin Furnish go through, or Furnish go through, as well as Russo. We're still battling over this position here in the final couple corners of the lap.
I think Swanseger has damage from that early on bonk that he had, so he's not going to be able to catch back up. He might just be low on aero at this point in the front end. Most of the race is split up. Right now our battle is right here with Kanya. And then this race for 9th place between Russo, Furnish, and Swanseger. Everybody else is outside of a second from each other. See, Swanseger's still tucking in there. Not really closing the gap, not really losing any time either, so maybe he just made a mistake early on. Kanya's still trying to catch up to Turai. Looks like Menendez has gained some time on Austin Gerber. So there's a possibility of a battle for 3rd place here soon.
He does have the fastest lap over Gerber by about 3/10, so he has the potential of catching him, but he just needs that consistency to keep up and then to go ahead and pass.
Yeah, 3/10, but at 44.2, I mean, that is still extremely rapid. I'm saying that from a Pro-Am point of view. With that said, Zach Schneider's, like, his average lap time right now is a 43.5. So what I'm saying is there's a difference between alien and then kind of alien, is what I'm saying. But the kind of aliens for me are just alien, okay? So keep that in mind. 0.3 second gap between these drivers. Since they're both extremely consistent, that gap is likely not to change a whole lot. Turai behind, now within that 1 second range of Menendez. Kanya now within, yeah, he's got his lights flashing again. He's saying, hey, Turai, get out of my way. I got to catch up to Menendez.
He had a great sequence there through turn 1 and 2. did Kanya. He's now right on the tail, coming through the long right-hander down through this mini straight here. Falling off a bit. It's in the McLaren in front.
Lando,
Seems
thank
to be
you for
holding
the
steady.
follow. Go ahead, continue.
We keep interrupting each other. It's a
I know,
bad
I'm sorry.
habit.
You stopped talking, so I said thanks for the follow at the same time you were answering. Hey man, that's what commentators do. They're supposed to talk over each other, right?
Oh, of course, of course.
Right, you watch the Russo Furnish battle. I'll watch the Kanya 2-Rai battle, and we'll just keep talking. I'm just kidding.
All right.
No,
Sounds
don't
good.
do that. No, Kanye's actually closing this gap up to 2-Rai down the back straight now. About a quarter of a second in trail. You can see him thinking about peeking to the inside. He's not going to do it. So he turns into the hairpin, just trying to get the better exit. It looks like he does, just a little bit. It's not going to
There
be
isn't
enough.
much in it between these two drivers. Both of them being competent.
Yep.
Being smart on the track. Maybe not in terms of working together to gain positions, but between themselves fighting.
Well, here's what I
Keeping
think
it
I would
clean.
do. I get it. You're racing to race, right? But 2-Rai is in the Pro-Am split. Kanya is in the Pro split. So if I was 2-Rai, you know that behind Kanya you have 10 seconds, right? You see him being defensive here. You see that you have 10 seconds already, 11 seconds to the next guy. Don't battle Kanya. Let him pass. Once he's around you, follow him up to the next gap of people and then battle.
Speaking of pass, he
Oh
did just
my
get around
goodness,
him there.
this is what you get for battling. Slipping
and then
and sliding.
tapped him on the exit there of turn 2.
Kanye's able to get the overtake done and run away because of that slip. But if you're smart about it, you let him pass, you can follow him through. Once again, these drivers are nearly same time split as far as what laps are doing, 44.4, 44.3-ish. So they're not off, but you're not racing each other, you know? Now, 2-Rai might be hoping to move up into that pro split, so he might. That's probably why he's racing. So we'll have to see after tonight's race how the post-race stuff goes. James Casaboon, after that first bonk in the back, went all the way to the back and has moved back up into 8th place and is now battling Russell Harrell for that 7th place position.
How far up do you think Kosoboon is going to get by the end of this race?
Let's see, we got 13 minutes left. I think he will probably get up to 2-Rai, if not just past. He's got a lot of time to gain to get there.
There's a big 10-second gap between the position he's currently fighting for and 2-Rai, who's ahead. About 11, 12 seconds there. A lot of time to make up. Behind them, Russo just overtook Furnish for P9. They're still battling it out here. Kosoboon still just waiting patiently. Probably knows he's the quicker driver here.
That Mustang is going to run down the straight, so I'm sure he'll tuck to the inside pretty easily before turn 1. Russell going to go defensive. James says, I'm going to go extra offensive. You're going to be there. I'm going to be here. Both these drivers in the middle of the track. Russell moves to the outside, as you should. James still on the inside. No bonks occurred.
There.
Able to get around him. And James has completed the overtake through turn 2.
And we'll see how quickly he takes off and widens that gap.
Because of that,
trying
though,
to catch up.
James is now 12 seconds off of 2-Rai because of it. So if they didn't battle, they would have been 10 seconds off. So that's what I'm getting at. You're not really fighting this other driver. The more you fight him, the more time you lose. So that was only one corner of real battling, and he lost 2 seconds because of it.
And speaking of Kosoboon, his best lap currently is only a 44.9, which is actually slower than all the cars in front, despite him starting, I believe, third place.
Yeah, he
I
started
believe he
in
started.
third. He did get bonked and he had to work his way up. So I don't think he had a chance to put down his fastest lap yet. We may see a faster lap from him shortly.
Yeah, he's now in clean air. He definitely has the potential to do so, but I wonder if he has significant damage due to that contact
You can
on
see
the
that
first lap.
that front bumper has a little bit of squish on it, and that hood is popped up a little bit. So we'll have to see what happens.
That'll definitely be reducing his speed down the straight, which is sort of the Mustang's key feature there, is its top speed and its ability to just pull on those straightaways.
Move back to Furnish and Russo again. James has moved outside of the slipstream range for Harold behind, so he's going to be alone for a little while he tries to put down some hot laps. Furnish was trying to gain some time on Russo. Unfortunately, lost it in that third sector. Still within slipstream down the front straight now. You can see Russo's not worried about it. He's just going to stay where he's at. However, that Aston is going to be a lot faster down the straights usually. Let's see what happens. He's losing a little bit of time into the braking zone. Into turn 1 and 2. Gained a little bit of time back and is now only 3/4 of a second behind Russo. So there is still time to be had. You can see Furnish has the determination to catch up to Russo. With that said, everybody else on track is outside of a 1 second gap of each other. The next closest is between Nico Menendez and Aston Gerber. Aston. Furnish closing up that gap a little bit more. Go ahead.
Talking about Kosoboon from earlier, who'd made up that position, he's actually falling back from to right even further now, so maybe the damage is quite significant, or maybe he's just not on his game today. He seems to just be just losing time here and there. It's adding up.
Like you said, he did a 44.9 was his best lap, so we'll have to see. Right now, his last lap was a 45.9. He was still finishing his battle there. So we'll have to see. He is down to second. If he's doing 45s, then we know that that's probably it for Kosoboon. That's as high as he's going to go. We'll have to see as he goes into the chicane now. Gains a little bit of time through the chicane, but yeah, I think you might be right. I think he has enough damage that it's 7th place is where he's going to end up finishing.
As we say that, Haral has gone into the pits here.
What are you doing, Mr.
Russo
Harrell?
and Furnish some places. I'm not sure why he's gone into the pits.
I bet you it's a fuel issue.
It might be. I don't see any damage, at least on the front of the car.
All right, James Kosoboon's previous lap was a 45.475. So you're correct that he's now doing a half a second slower than everybody else. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Just an update on Haral. I believe he just had a drive there.
Okay,
for,
so he was penalized.
Probably track limits.
Just goes to show that how much these guys are actually pushing, trying to gain on these other drivers. They're using all of the track possible. Nico Menendez trying to close that gap to Gerber ahead. Still outside of slipstream. You can see Gerber in that gray McLaren as it moves across the screen. Menendez in the Noobs R Us Lamborghini. Everybody's outside of a second from each other now at this point. Just people trying to hot lap better than other people. Nico looks like he got a better exit. It's not going to be enough, though, down the straight to put himself into the slipstream. We're in hot lap mode. 7 minutes left of the race. Something will happen. Somebody will slip out, and we'll get some action here shortly. But while we're here, exclamation point sponsors in chat if you guys want to know who sponsors us. I'll type it out so you don't have to. I typed it without an S because I'm bad. There you go. Track Titan, if you'd like a 30-day free trial, you can use our code or you can click the link, or you can get 30% off your subscription using that link as well. Circuit Core hosts our servers. As you can see, even though the servers are down in ACC, we're able to use these. Luckily, our server host doesn't shut down, even though ACC server browser does. And then we also have driver shout out for Nico from Devin Anthony. We also have SimGrid and Coach Dave, our sponsors as well. More information on them can be found in our Discord. So back to James. Like we had said that maybe he's falling off, I think that Turai is also starting to slow down a bit too, because that gap has not gained anything for Kosoboon. He's still 13 seconds back.
Yeah, it looks to be just holding steady there with that gap. Doubt we'll see anything really happen there unless Turai makes a quite catastrophic mistake.
Gonna take a lot to make a mistake like that, though. If you're alone, you're
Oh,
hot
it
lapping.
is.
You guys they've been practicing this all week, so they know where their lines are. They know what they can hit. Albeit the track is a little bit cooler at this point during the race than it was when they were practicing. I want to point out that Zach Schneider has been doing 43s this entire race. I want to take a look at the times. I want you guys to kind of see the timetables here. It's on the screen there. Schneider. Can I click on him? It didn't want me to click on him. Yeah, I can't click on him. I would like to see all the times that he's done every lap, but I'm fairly certain that he has done nothing but 43s this entire time. We do have a driver getting within slipstream. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's outstanding from Schneider, being the only not only the only driver in the 43s, but he's in the low 43s. He's doing 43 1s, 43 3s consistently in those 43s, and he's just pulled out this huge gap that's basically insurmountable, barring a really bad mistake from him, which I doubt will happen. Fingers crossed. No commentator's curse. As Harald actually just had a spin there. Sorry to interrupt.
Right.
He's now back down to last place, if we're excluding Danzig, who's just been sitting in the pits.
So I want to look back up at fourth place here. Nico Menendez, we've been kind of watching him off and on throughout the race. He is 0.9 seconds to Gerber ahead, but Kanya is 1 second behind. So once Nico catches up to Gerber, which looks like it's going to happen fairly quickly here, they're going to start battling for that podium position, third place, which is going to allow Kanya to catch up and battle as well. There's only 3 minutes left, however. So Nico's going to want to try and get this overtake done as quickly as possible once he does catch up to try and keep Kanya behind. If he ends up battling for too long, Kanya will catch up and Nico will end up losing that fourth place position because of it. So Zach's real strength is that he can put down a wicked hot lap.
Turai again. Sorry to interrupt. Turai is now in the pits.
Looks like
I believe he was in. Yeah, I believe he was in 6th position, which means Kosovoon has now actually moved up into 6th. Something we didn't think he would be able to do. Furnish is on the tail of Russo, going through turn 1 there. About a half-second gap between them. Giving little updates. Turai is now out of the pits, emerged in 10th position. Must have been for track limits there.
I don't know if this explains it, but our platinums are at the top, and our pro-ams, silvers, are 7th all the way to last. So you can see that our splits do make sense, even if an accident happens. They end up making their way back up and getting right back up there. You can see Menendez and Gerber getting ready to try and battle here. I may not catch this on board, Devin, because we're last 2 minutes of the race. I don't want to watch this battle between Nico, Kanya, and Gerber. So, but if we want to watch one next race, I'll do one next week. Furnish catching up to Russo. You can see Russo being defensive. Kind of doesn't know which way he wants to go, but he ends up tucking to the inside.
Oh.
A little bit of side by side for a moment. Go ahead.
Looked like Furnish almost let off the gas there on the exit of that corner. Kind of fell back on the side there.
Oh, and then he slips and loses his time back out of the slipstream.
Oh, alrighty.
All right.
No more looking at that. Go back up to this fight for third. Menendez is slowly closing that already small gap of about 4/10 down to 3/10, hovering around that area as they go through turn 3, that long sweeping right-hander onto this little mini straight into another almost sweeping right-hander.
Almost like an early apex and then early power on corner. Turn 4
Yeah,
is.
it's sort of, you just hug, at least I hug completely the inside until it's stopped, but maybe I'm just a bad driver, not sure.
Well, with that said, we're going to have one more lap after this. Zach Schneider is just in, like, look at that on the map where he's at. He just passed the third sector, and where we're watching the battle for third is halfway through the second sector.
We might just need a new split just for Zach, where he races himself.
It'll be the Zach split.
Mm-hmm. He just races alternate versions of himself. Casey Swanseger just had a spin way back there.
Kind of want to watch what happened. Looks like he was alone for this. Just Porsche doing Porsche things. Yep, it just gripped up in the front and spun him around. Luckily, nobody else got hurt because of that. Moving up to the front here.
Now on the tail of Gerber. Kanya's getting in the mix here. This is going to heat up for this final lap.
Yep, final lap now. With that said, first place is already through turn 1 and 2. We're not even going to watch Zach Schneider because we all know that he doesn't need to be watched to win. Thank you for the follow, Narcodamus. You can see how defensive Gerber is being as they go to turn 1. Moves back to the outside. Nico's going to stay on the inside, but he's going to move back. Nico's now going to worry about Kanya behind.
A lot of time. Gerber almost makes a mistake there, going a bit too much on the curb there.
He makes enough of a mistake to lose 2 positions.
Oh my goodness, there was a little bit of a bonk there, almost just a little door bang between Menendez and Gerber. Just sort of forced him a little bit further out wide that allowed Kanya to get through.
Yep, that was unfortunate. You made that one mistake into turn 2 and it allowed Nico to get alongside you. So losing 2 positions on the last lap's not the way to go, but Kanya is really wanting that 3rd place position for the final lap. Kanya's got a lot of work to do to catch up, though, because we know how fast Nico is. Last lap for Nico, 45.2. Best lap for Nico, 44.2. Kanya's best lap was a 44.4. So if Nico can just stay ahead and keep his nose down, his ears up, and his cheeks clapped, we'll be fine.
What the hell?
What? Oh, my goodness. You can almost see some bumping going on. Kanya flashing his lights again at Nico, trying to throw him off. The race is over. Zach takes the win. Kevin.
Kevin's going to come in second. Are we going to see just a maniacal dive bomb here, potentially, into this?
This is the place to do it. You can see it.
Oh.
He tried. It didn't happen. Kanya on the tail. He's going to try and tuck in just a little bit tighter. It's not going to work. Nico, 3rd place. Nick,
Kanya there.
4th. Gerber, 5th.
Kanya there was flashing Nico.
Yeah, all 3 of these drivers were flashing each other the entire race. James Casaboon, more or less a last to 6th race. Did a great job with his way back up the grid. Coming in 6th overall and 6th for the pro split. Matt Russo about to cross the line, 1st place for the Pro-Ams. Doug Furnish, 2nd place for the Pro-Ams. And Adam Turai still battling Casey Swanseeger as they're coming through the chicane now. There we go. Adam Turai is going to hold that 3rd place position with Casey Swanseeger in 4th. Great racing from all of these drivers. David crossing the line as well. Ramirez crossing the line in 11th. Joe Allenson coming through the 3rd sector of the track now. Great job by everybody. These drivers are going to probably join us in the booth here shortly. Will, would you like to take over for those interviews?
No.
Please do.
Okay, sure.
All right. Well, we've got the pro split drivers in here with us. So if you would like to run the interview, you can. Otherwise, I can get started. I just got to get moved over here.
Sure. All right, starting off, I guess we'll start off with our P1 finisher for the 2nd race, Zach Schneider. Why and how are you so quick?
I don't know, man. Something about this car just clicks. And I don't know. I was doing close to qualifying times on a few laps too. Like even at the start. So I don't know. I don't have an answer. The car just feels really good.
I believe you're the only driver that managed a 43 at all in that race, and you were doing consistent low 43s pretty much throughout, just creating a huge gap.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Were you afraid of making a mistake, or were you pushing hard specifically, or what was going on there?
I under pressured a little bit for the first race, so I was doing like high 43s and the track was a little bit warmer, so I just wanted to turn them up a little bit and see if I could just send it and see how long the tires would last, and they went to pretty much the last like 5 minutes.
My only question for you, Nick, did you do anything above a 44 that entire race?
You mean
Or did you,
Zach?
like, that's what I meant, Zach.
Me?
Why did I say Nick?
Yeah, for the last 5 minutes, I was in the 44s, probably
Okay.
for probably like the last 3 or 4 laps. Yeah,
All
they
right.
felt like they were gone, but that was good.
Good, good. Kevin, let's move on to you, Kevin. How was your race? You did a lot of battling in the first half. The second half, you were more or less alone. How was your battles? How did you feel about that?
Hey, first of all, welcome back, Will. Long time no see.
Thank you.
And then I mean the first half, I had to pay some dues. I had to, so I let Gerber by. Just I did something on the first race. I had to pay, give him back the position. So, but after that, I just love how they were battling behind me. I loved all that. So it was better for me. But it was a good race overall. Second on both races, so.
Good. Let's move on to Nico Menendez. Well, I almost called you Nick Menendez.
Good night.
Hello,
doing,
Nico. You were trying to get away from some battles and ended up back in the battles. Just trying to keep up with Kevin. What was it like
I
having?
have no idea. I have no idea how I'm here. Honestly.
The end of the race, you were in what, fifth, and then ended up in third because of a mistake ahead of you, right?
Yeah, I don't remember who made the mistake that was ahead of me. I think it was Adam, and then it was all eyes on Gerber trying to catch him and get back to him. Made a couple mistakes myself as well, and then that final lap battle was amazing with Nick and Austin. Super clean. I feel a little bit sorry for bumping him wide a little bit, but yeah, I mean that's racing. Robin's racing.
Yeah. I don't know if that bump would have mattered either way. I think Kanye was going to get around him, either way for that fourth place position. So, regardless, good race, guys. Let's move on to Adam Turai. Adam, hello.
Hello.
Now, you, sir, didn't come in a podium in the second race, so I'm assuming you got podium in the first race, correct?
Correct. I came third overall.
Third. Okay. How was your first race? Who were you battling against the most, and what did you need to work on?
So for the first race, I just kind of, with the turn one chaos, I got lucky. I got ahead of that, so I already had a good gap there. And then from there, it was just a lot of hot lapping. James, or later on, there was another battle between Kevin, Austin, and someone else, and they ended up taking each other out. I got ahead, and then it was just me and James, really. James made a mistake, I overtook him, and then he kept making mistakes overall, and I just kept pushing off and just cruised to a podium finish.
Great. Well, hopefully you can get more podium finishes, and we'll see you competing for the top positions. That is as long as Kevin, Nico, and Zach don't have anything to say for it. But anyways, good to see you getting podiums in our pro-am split. So that's awesome.
He's improved a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, second race, not so good. I got to drive through at the end there.
Yeah, we saw that. We were like, what's going on with Turai? And jumped in. There's a lot of people that had drive-throughs. So thank you guys for joining us in the booth tonight. We're going to go ahead and end the stream. I'm going to go ahead and get a raid going. And we're going to raid Sim Racing Alliance because they're racing tonight too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching us on stream. I'm glad we were able to get our race going tonight in short notice. And go over to Sim Racing Alliance, say hi to them. Maybe join one of their races. Only one though. Come back to us. We want you here. All right, everybody, have a great night.